Call this meeting of Harriman City Council November 16, 2021 to order. Before we get started, we'll have a prayer by Councilman Wright, followed by the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Councilman Wright.
Would you always please? Dear God, as we gather here tonight in this place, Father, we ask for your blessings upon each one who's in attendance. Father, prepare our hearts for the things that we will discuss. And Lord, may everything we do discuss tonight be in alignment with your words. May we speak with humility, help us to admit our mistakes and be willing to act upon the solutions that our people give us. Above all, may your peace fill our meetings. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Ryan Cross.
Here.
Buddy Holly.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Kenny Me.
Here.
Sam Russell. Lonnie Wright.
Here. I'd like to declare a quorum. Motion to approve the minutes of the November 2nd, 2021 meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Wright. Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Wright.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ryan Cross.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wright, second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Wright.
Motion.
Councilman Holly.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ryan Cross.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Before we go into delegation real quick, just want to apologize for everyone that's here. We're still meeting in this smaller room as our new council chamber is being completed. So hopefully in about 2 or 3, 4 or 5 months, we'll be over in the new council chamber and we'll have a lot more room for people spread out. At this time, we'll hear from the delegation. If you'd like to address this council, please come to the podium, state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I'm Pam Mayer with Run Alliance, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Tonight I mostly have my chamber hat on, since it's kind of the rush of the Christmas shopping season, and we always try to help our shop local efforts at businesses to ramp up our promotions and to help them with their promotions. So anything you guys know about, anything you want us to help you with, I know the City of Harriman does a lot of great things during this time, and so anything we can help to promote that, we'd love to. As you know, the National Shop Small Day is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and we always try to leverage that day as well, as much as possible. In the past, we've called it Super Saturday. We've had different campaigns, but mostly we just do a big push to remind people to shop local. And one message we do plan to use this year that we think will resonate with everyone, and it might actually help, is, you know, when you shop local, you don't have to worry about getting your items shipped to you. So I think that's going to probably help shop local efforts this season. So it's actually not necessarily a bad thing. During the holidays, like I said, any special event you know about, just tag the chamber. We would love to share it, promote it. We share it on our personal pages as well. One of the things that we did during the pandemic was create a Forward Together Roane County Facebook group. It's created to give small businesses a voice. It has now become a place where local businesses share information and promote themselves. We take that information all the time, share it other places. But you know, this is for any business, whether you're a chamber member or not. And it is an active group. It has 1,700 members, posted 93 times in the last 28 days, and they received 242 reactions. So it's a great place to post. I know Martha, I think, posted there, and a lot of your businesses, and then we see that and share it. But it gives people a voice, and we like sharing that voice. So we have the shopping spree contest. It has already begun. A couple of things just to note. Shoproane.com is the link, but we're hoping that this We've changed some things that encourages actually spending money locally. It will run longer now through Christmas, and besides the typical way to win where you just entered your name and you won, a $100 gift card. Now this year, there's a card if you spend for every $10 they spend in a participating business. It's marked, and then that goes into a drawing when you complete those for an $800 in gift cards and merchandise, and that's from our local businesses directly, and so then the winner can take that and shop after Christmas as well. So we hope that helps instead of just people coming into the business, that they actually spend money. The past weekend, the Rome Chamber hosted the second annual Jingle and Mingle market. We had over 45 vendors. We had over 1,200 shoppers that attended the two-day event, and got everybody in the Christmas spirit, but it was exciting to see how many people came out and supported local small business. So now to tourism, which many of you may have already read a lot of the tourism numbers and impact numbers for Rome County, and I brought reports for you guys, copies. I'll just hand that to you, pass it around. Since it impacts retail and our small businesses as well, I wanted to just throw out some numbers, some of the high points from this report. The visitors spent over $51 million in Rome in 2020. That visitor spending did decline by 14% because of the pandemic, just like it declined across the country. And yet we passed 4 counties in visitor spending when we went from 32nd in 2019 to 28th. And how did we compare with the state? The state declined 31%. National average decline was 42%. So I feel like we did, fairly well, given that it was less than half of even what the state did decline. Visitors spend about $17 billion across the state, and it, in spite of the pandemic, tourism industry is still the second largest industry in the state and the 4th largest employer for the state. And in Rome County, it created 540 jobs in the hospitality industry. So it's also a really important industry for our county as well. And like I said, those are your copies. At the bottom, there's some information that I typed in. It just gives you a link to our website page that has the link to the state's full report. And it also has a URL for the blog where I've wrote about how we compare with other counties and give more details in that story. So hopefully maybe that will help you guys, because I do feel that given the unprecedented year of 2020, when travel completely stopped basically, Rome County was still able to bring in visitors who provided income for county services, local commerce, and also help every household because money goes in our pockets from the taxes that the visitors help us pay. So I think the report shows that. And so I think anything we can do to increase our tourism assets will help everyone. So I appreciate your time and questions. Hope that didn't take too much time.
Do you have anything for Ms. May?
It's good news.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is good. Thank you, Pam. Anyone else like to address council? If not, we'll go into reports. Dr. Curley.
Nearing completion of our audit, should be done in a few days. Field work should be finished. Hopefully we'll get the report by the end of December. We also have our credit card systems up and running. You can pay online or here in the office with a credit card machine. So we're happy to get that up and running in place. And there's a place on the city website that guys were able to put the cable in and do what needs to be done to have a notice there. So if you punch on that, it affects you to property tax. That's all I have.
Do I have anything for Dr. Curley? Thanks, sir. Mr. Mason.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of the City Council. Two reports that are due this month are fire and police. From our fire department, y'all were each emailed that report from Chief Daniels. October was Fire Safety Month. They conducted sessions in both schools, daycare centers, and churches around the city. They also had their fire alarms. They're back in stock, so if anyone in the city needs smoke alarms, fire department will come install those free of charge, and they can call 865-882-3072, and they'll certainly come out and help get those installed. And they answered a total of 129 calls during the month of October. The police report was also emailed to y'all by Chief Tapp. In total, during the month of October, they answered 837 calls, and of those calls, there were 59 total arrests, 30 drug arrests, and 17 arrests that dealt with drug paraphernalia. So both departments had a very, very busy month. In addition to getting all the lights and everything put up, we finished, of course, the trunk or treat, and then trying to make that turnaround very quickly and get everything ready for the Christmas parade. So those two departments have been really busy. From our events coordinator, we are pushing to have the lights ready so the city can be lit up this Friday night. We're really excited about that, so that'll take place this Friday. Shop Small, like Pam mentioned, will be the Saturday after Thanksgiving at Shop Local, and that is really important to all of our businesses, but that'll be on Saturday, November the 27th. The lighting and decoration, while that hopefully it will be finished by this Friday, all in preparation for our Christmas parade, which will be on Thursday, December the 2nd. And we will have a float, and we're encouraging all of these members of our city council to ride in the float in front of Santa Claus. So we'll have a special place for y'all right there. Part of what we put in the budget, just to bring you an update, we have ordered camera systems for all of our parks. The equipment is in. We've got several cameras that are still on back order. So as soon as those get in, we will have those updated in place. Preliminary interviews have started for Doc's position, our city treasurer. I hope to have a candidate or two for you all ready for interview during the month of December. And I'm really excited about introducing Lainey. Lainey is here, and then she's going to leave here and go to the school board meeting. Lainey is part of this year's class for Rome County Leadership, and she's a Harriman High School student, and part of their requirements, they have to send so many civic organizations. So she is coming to the Harriman City Council tonight. So round of applause for Lainey and everything she does. It's a great program, and the whole purpose is to develop leaders that will hopefully stay in Rome County and make a big difference. So thank you for visiting with us tonight, Lainey. She's actually going to help by handing out a school board meeting. If y'all have not done so yet, fill out for our comprehensive plan, our recreation questionnaire. And I was excited really to talk about Lainey, really excited. Teresa was probably more excited. She can't wait to use the new credit card machine. She and I were talking today, but no, really excited about that. So that's my report. I know it's shorter than usual, but y'all have any questions?
Who decorated Walden and the poles and stuff back through there? Was it the city?
Yes, sir. I think it was the rec department. Yes, the rec department did.
I just noticed it today. They're out running around from there.
Those are on the photo cell, so they come on every night, but all these, the mayor showed me how that all works, so they will come on Friday.
Good.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I'll just say that it has been a busy month, and through the first year, it's going to be busy with everything going on. I want to thank the city manager for keeping everything coordinated and making sure that, I told him 2 days ago, I said, now I expect lights on by Friday, and hit Friday, and he starts making this weird noise, but we try to get them on and to let people, I think it changes your feeling when you see the lights, when you come through town and you see it puts a smile on your face. And we do it for the young people to make them feel at home and to let them know that Harriman is a place to be at home. So just so people understand our lives, that's what we do it for. And I enjoy this part of the season. We'll go into new business. First item, discuss and possibly approve final reading on ordinance 1121-01, ordinance to establish and updated occupational safety and health program plan, devise rules and regulations, and provide for a safety director and the implementation of such program plan. Motion to approve this on second reading.
I make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. Call roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve invoice for Temperance Building Phase 1. Scott, you want to talk about this?
Thank you, Mayor. Part of one of my first responsibilities when I came in was working closely with Doc and members of the city council and our department heads on the development of the budget. And the mayor told me, he gave me a stopwatch, and he said, his saying, if you see some of the signs that are around town, our time is now. And I know you all have worked hard as the city council and worked very responsibly in taking care of the citizens' money. And this money that y'all have set aside, we did put in the budget for some capital outlay projects this year. And so our time is now, and this is an exciting event, what we have coming up right now. Everything else is going on, but the Temperance Building Committee has met, and Councilman Holly is on that. We've met several times over the last few months and really put that into high gear, and we're pleased. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago to bring forth for consideration and possibly approving contract of Phase 1, and that's Master Services. We heard that representative. Several came in for our meeting, but we have Dylan with Master Services here tonight, should you decide to approve that. But this is the recommendation from the committee, and this is a huge step forward. If approved, they can start somewhere around the 1st of January. I think Dylan said 12 to 15 business days. That foundation will be set, and we can go in and start taking the drywall down. And hopefully by the time the end of spring, 1st of summer, that at least the first floor of that Temperance Building becomes something that's open to the public and something that when people visit Rome County, people that live here will be able to go in and enjoy a huge part of Harriman's history. And that contract is included in there. And we have, like I said, Dylan here if we have any questions. That money was put into the budget. We had $100,000 for that. We also have an additional $57,000 that carried over, so this does come in under that amount.
Motion to approve Phase 1. I think the contract is $96,540. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
So, motion to approve Phase 1 at a cost of $96,540. Motion. Motion by Councilman Frost. Second.
Second.
Second, Councilman Holly. Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Holly.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment on the Temperance Building and what we've been doing on it. I know you're changing a lot of it now, but we've run into this issue, and I guess it would be as much as my fault for not keeping up with it, but over the years, we put $25,000 a year, and we say we're going to go in there and have somebody shore up the foundation and everything. Then we need another study for where do we need to start at, and then we couldn't find one. And I told Scott, I know we did one. I didn't keep up. I probably have it in a box somewhere where I put all this stuff where I wrote notes, but not easily to find, and obviously he couldn't find it in the stuff that he got turned over to him. We need a better way of keeping up with this. The master plan for the Temperance Building, and it's not just the Temperance Building, it's a lot of them, just like the next one up, talking about the dock. Something we did the same thing on the rec committee. When we first started the rec committee, we had it going. We had notes and everything from it. Then it kind of dissolved, there wasn't a lot going on. So we go into it again, appoint a new committee. Couldn't find the old bylaws, even though we knew we had the bylaws. So we go over and do it again, and we just keep recreating this stuff. And I'm all about restoring the Temperance Building when we can put money into it. I think that's a good thing. It's one of the, what found in Harriman, it's there, and it should be taken care of. But not to just keep dropping money in it from another architect or engineering survey or this to happen. This is actually probably one of the better plans we've had together, that they can come in and do something like this. But I don't want it to just get lost and then us not know, well, what did they actually do? Well, I can't find what Master Services did. We're going to have to get another architect to come in. But anyway, I just want to put that out there, and we need to come up with a way of tracking this stuff for whoever takes over after I leave council. Not that I did any good, because I couldn't find any of the info you needed. So
We did, Councilman, we did come across two documents, and one was from an engineering firm that I think council approved a couple of years ago that had all the phases listed. So the committee used that document. It's got everything from start to finish on a lot of the work which has already been accomplished around 3 sides with the drainage. But it was that document from the engineering firm we provided to everybody that put into a bid. So their actual bids came from that document that was 2 years ago, Councilman Holly. And we do have that, and we'll certainly keep up with this should y'all approve it. But
because we put money into restoring the windows and stuff like that years back, and
Well, we didn't restore it, we just,
we
fixed them where
paid
the birds
somebody
couldn't fly in.
money to come in and whatever they did.
Yeah.
Like just copper and glass, I don't know.
And it's, I talked with Brian Hill, who's doing our comprehensive plan, and including the temperance building, and some of these things are included in that, so that we can also use grants. But,
I mean, because I'd like to have that document, because we never know when you're going to run for Congress or something like that. So we have something when you leave that we can come in and they can look at Scott's paperwork and say, okay, this is where you left that out.
I'll tell you, because we've had a hard time looking for previous people's documents on computers, but there's one person in this room that has a copy of everything we've done since we took over. Keita Mize has a hard copy and a file for everything. So I can promise you, as long as I'm in this position, I'll do everything to make sure we're not wasting any money and we're following plans that we've already used and not having to go over and done it and continue to kick the can down the road.
Thank you.
You like to go, Councilman? Thanks, sir. Any other discussion? Call roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item, discuss and possibly approve sole source contract for Riverfront Park dock.
We have a representative here from Docket, that's Rick Owen. And going back to what Councilman Meade stated there, I know several times the city has installed docks at Riverfront Park, and they're very popular. If you come in during the day, I mean, there's boats, it gets a lot of use, but the floods that we've had over the past few years, the foundations of the current dock and the previous ones, they've been compromised. That's why that dock is closed off now. One of the things I talked about when I interviewed with you all was a vision on what can we do to make Harriman a destination place and make better use of that river that we have going through town. And this is a huge part of it. This is not just a normal dock that you put in the backyard. The design for this dock through Docket and Rick started in the spring, and with Josh Gillespie of HUB, this particular dock has, and you can see in the contract there, and Rick can certainly go into more detail, appears it won't be compromised. It has a deflector built onto the side, so when we do have another flood, instead of stuff washing under there and compromising those piers, it'll get deflected out to the middle of the river. It's also one that will float with the actual level of the river. It'll go up and down. And in the current dock that we have down there, there's no handrails on the steps. It's not ADA compliant. This one is a 100-foot pier that will be ADA compliant, be used for numerous purposes, but will also include kayak and canoe launches. As you know, Harriman is part of the Riverline project, and that's a big push across the state to bring more tourism to the state because our Riverline. Harriman can't participate in any of the bids right now because we don't have a location to put in and put out. We've talked to already several people that once this dock is approved and put in, that we can use that hopefully by this summer, an outfitter that you show up at Riverfront Park on a Saturday morning with your family, and I want to get a 4-hour float. So we take you up to Oakdale, you get in an inner tube or kayak, and you float back down here to Riverfront Park where you pull your kayak or canoe or your inner tube out, and you spend the rest of the day in the park, or if we have food trucks down there, or you choose an 8-hour float. We'll take you up, and this is Josh Gillespie's vision. We'll take you all the way up to Nemo, and we'll take your kayak there, and you float down, and your ending point being Harriman. So, this would be I think a big pull for people to go to Riverfront Park, whether you kayak, canoe, tubing, fishing, and it'll be ADA compliant, which is huge and much safer, and hopefully will stand up to problems that we've had others before, because it's not just a dock, this is a true pier. And certainly can have questions. Rick from Docket is here if you have any questions about that. We did set aside in the budget $250,400 for capital outlay projects, this dock being one of those. So we originally thought it'd be $128,000, but I think the estimate is $128,200.
Do we have a drawing of the proposed dock?
And I will add, a part of this process is a 220-day application fee to TVA, which Keith and I have become very familiar with, but this is all dependent on TVA approving our application. So we can't spend any money or begin anything until we get that application back from TVA.
And it's
Like
going
like you said, the secrets, the piers that you put down in there, you know, the old paper mill, everything down there washed away except one thing. They built a loading dock down there to take wood off and bring it on barges. You know, that darn thing's still there. It's still straight.
If you do it right, and we're considered the area's expert on anchoring. One of our partners, Paul Acquire, is the expert in this part of the world. We get called in on stuff that comes off anchor all the time, and he fixes it. We were selected for the Ball Navy job because they knew we would anchor that dock so that even with 8 houseboats put to it, it would not go anywhere. So, and this is our home county. This is a point of honor with us to be able to do a dock for this county, for any city in this counly. So
Do a good job on this
we
one.
will do a good job.
We may have another one.
Well, we built a business on that, so we would love to do anything in the future.
Does this go in with the existing dock?
Yes, sir. The old dock will have to come out because the piers have been compromised, and because of the riprap and the issues we ran into with TVA with the new additional riprap, the old dock will come out, and this will go in exactly where the one is now.
Like I said, it's a tough job to anchor in those currents and things like that.
The stiff arm with the gangway is actually part of the anchoring. We've done this pretty successfully in the past, and again, we know this part of the world pretty well.
Yeah.
And anything were to happen, we stand behind this dock, and we would be right over here, but we think we've designed a dock that will take the punishment.
Good. Yeah, it'll get it. Yes, sir.
Has McFarland looked over this?
No, we're talking with Rick, and I stated earlier, but before, we have to make sure we get a permit back from TVA that allows us to go forward. I don't foresee any roadblocks with that, but can certainly have.
I just want to make sure, like on the confidentiality, we don't run into any issues, because we can't really hold back what the cost is.
We'll modify the contract to let you do what you need to do.
Well, I just-
Government.
If somebody was like, yeah, with it being government, if they want to know what we spend on it, we have to
Sure.
disclose that.
Well, this is a standard contract boilerplate we do to commercial folks and private individuals, so we're happy to modify as needed. I can work with Scott on what it needs to say.
Yeah, section 4. But anyway.
No, it just stays there.
So we have a motion to approve to spend up to $128,200 with sole source. I'll make a motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson.
Yes, Scott, well, I met with y'all down there that day. We looked at the print and all that stuff. We're going to later on do possibly another one down where the paper mill site is, after we get that cleared off and everything.
We could, and we had Oakdale go down and clean that. We bush hogged the paper mill site. Now that we have those deeds, that is a huge area, and I talked with Charlie, I said Parks and Rec Committee needs to come up with a plan, and I think start small, make sure we can adequately take care of that, and that's what's so important about this here. What do our citizens want, and use the results of this and help that guide, especially what we do with that site right there. But I think that would be a possibility. We can see how useful this is, but there's a great place right there to install another even further down if we wanted to.
Because I know once we get that boat ramp leveled out and get it working, it's going to be covered up with boats, and that would be another good place to set one of those docks.
Plenty of places to park your boat and boat trailer down through there, I know that.
Okay, that's all I've got.
Councilman Mingle.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion. And just like I say, I'm tickled to see the city of Harriman investing in what we're investing in for the future. As we all went through COVID and lockdown and everything else, we've seen how much it's important to have the resources sometimes right here at home to do things. And both of the items that you all are looking at tonight is giving back to the people of Rome County. So it's very exciting. Any other discussion?
It'll be a good test, this facility, before we venture off on another one.
Talking about Riverfront Park, Councilman Wright.
Call roll, please.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. That's all we have on the agenda. We'll go into council remarks. Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
No, sir.
Councilman Holly.
I agree with Tim, if we get a launching ramp down there, then that's obviously they're gonna need a place to tie their boats up, and doesn't have to be 100 feet long to start with, but it would be a nice place to look into, and maybe these guys can help us out. The nice thing about that one down there is it's out of the main flow, it's in a bend down there. Not like the one up here, which gets the brunt of everything, so that might be possible. That's all.
Thanks, sir. Councilman Wright.
No, sir.
Councilman Meade.
No, sir.
Okay. I've got a couple of things, just as I said earlier, a lot of stuff going on. Christmas lights are going up. Anybody wants to come down and volunteer, you're welcome to. The guys are working every day trying to get things going. I also want to say happy birthday to Councilman Frost. Today's his birthday. He's older than I am, so just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that happy birthday. And that's all I have. We've got a workshop after the council meeting, so if you guys are okay, because I think we've got a football banquet going on tonight also across the street that some of us want to go to. We've got some things going on. We'll go right into the workshop, if that's all for you guys, as soon as we adjourn from this meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, like sign.